Each year, the adidas SICKLINE Extreme Kayak World Championship draws 150 of the world's finest whitewater, slalom, and freestyle paddlers to the legendary Wellerbrücke Rapids in Austria's Ötztaler Valley to crown the world champion in extreme kayak racing. Kayakers from 24 different countries try to find the SICKLINE, the perfect, fastest, and smoothest line downriver. The Ötztal in Tyrol boasts 250 3,000-meter high peaks, glacier fields, and crystal-clear alpine waters. The race takes place in the small town of Oetz, a popular holiday resort at the valley entrance. The Wellerbrücke Rapids are an infamous section of the glacier-fed Ötztaler Ache River, named after a wooden bridge that was first donated by cavalry captain Karl Weller in 1911. Nicknamed the Eiger North Wall of kayaking, these rapids are one of the most challenging whitewater sections in the world, both difficult and dangerous.
The adidas SICKLINE Extreme Kayak World Championships brings a group of the best paddlers from around the world across all different disciplines. We've got freestyle world champions, slalom world champions, some of the best expedition kayakers in the world, all gathering here on the Wellerbrücke Rapids to race down and see who will take the prestigious title as the SICKLINE champion. Well, the race, it encompasses quite a few different aspects of kayaking. It's a race against the clock, it's a race against their fellow competitors, and it's also testing themselves against a very hard piece of whitewater in the Wellerbrücke Rapid.
In recent years, one man has reigned supreme on these waters. Kiwi Sam Sutton has triumphed at the event 3 years in a row. He won the coveted World Championship belt in 2010, 2011, and 2012. His portraits adorn the adidas SICKLINE Wall of Fame next to the storied river. The 25-year-old kayaker from Rotorua, New Zealand is an outstanding whitewater and expedition paddler and is admired by fellow kayakers around the world for his remarkable skill. 3 weeks after winning his last title, his daughter Lily was born. This year, Lily and Sam's girlfriend Katarina have joined Sam to support him in his quest to defend the title. Being a father has given Sam even greater motivation when racing.
For me this year, having Katarina and Lily here for the first time, it's quite cool, and I love getting to paddle down the river, and I know that she watches me, she actually recognises me on the river, so that's quite a cool fact. And I definitely, it would be awesome to try stand on top of the podium again and have her to watch that, and every year I have new motivation to try win it. The asset that I've taken out of doing the last 5 SICKLINE races is to really be confident and to know that you don't necessarily have to paddle as hard as possible to have a good run, but to really slow your strokes down and make every single stroke count, and that's helped me to win the last 3 titles, so hopefully I can bring that forward into the 4th.
So I guess the question on everyone's lips this year is, can anyone knock Sam off his post, or is he going to make it 4 titles in a row?
Sam Sutton is the man to beat. Who will rise up to the challenge? Who are the contenders to win this race and snatch the prestigious champion's belt away from him? Gerd Serra Solces from Spain, Igor Voskobonikov from Russia, Jamie Sutton from New Zealand, Fabian Dörfler from Germany, Dane Jackson from the USA, Eric de Gille from France, and Michele Ramazza from Italy want to battle it out. Eye to eye, head to head, no holds barred. Will any of them succeed and ascend to the SICKLINE throne?
Sam Sutton, obviously he's won the last 3 years. The reason why he wins and the reason why he does so well is that he's an incredible creek racer. He's very smooth, he has very powerful strokes, and it's what he trains for all year long, and so when it comes to a race like this, he's ready to go, more ready than anyone else.
Sam is
a beast. He's very good. This is a very short and explosive race, which suits him perfectly. He knows all the details, all the rocks, every movement of the water to perfection. And you can easily see when he's in the water, he feels at home. The Wellerbrücke rapid where the race takes place is a very special rapid because it changes from day to day with the respective water level, which also changes constantly. So every year the perfect line is different. If you compare it to a ski slope, it's like racing on an avalanche. The water is moving all the time. It changes directions and you may be stalled on your way down, which costs a lot of energy. The uniqueness of the adidas SICKLINE is that this race attracts the best paddlers in the world. Everyone has chances to win it, and because it is such a short race course, the top 15 in the world are close on each other's heels. The slightest mistake on this rapid can cost you valuable time. You slip down the rankings because the top 10 usually clock within 2 seconds. The Wellerbrücke is one of the toughest courses in the world. The strongest kayakers come to this race. You make a small mistake and you fall far behind. Therefore, you have to be very focused and try to avoid mistakes. That's what's most important in this race. Well, Sam Sutton doesn't really have any weaknesses when it comes to this race. Physically and mentally, he's very fit. He knows his boat inside and out. He knows how the boat reacts. Even if his paddling style may seem a little odd, it doesn't greatly matter. There is a much more efficient way to paddle straight forward, but the sprint part on this course is less than 10 seconds, so it doesn't decide the race. Of course it's possible to beat Sam Sutton. Impossible is nothing. Dark clouds are gathering over the valley. For the first time, it rains on race day. Fabian Döffler, a multiple world and European slalom champion, has participated in the adidas SICKLINE World Champs for the past 5 years. The 30-year-old German who lives in Augsburg placed 6th in 2011 and 5th in 2012. The race course is 280 meters long with a gradient of 10 per mil, and competitors must navigate a series of challenging obstacles, like the treacherous TNT Rapid or the infamous Champion's Killer, the final drop of the course that stalls out many contenders just like Fabian. A decent time, but too slow to advance to the next round. Unfortunately, it didn't go too well for me in the quarterfinal. I made 2 mistakes and I was pushed far off the perfect line. Now I have to wait if I can advance as lucky loser, but it's going to be very tight. 28-year-old Michele Ramazza from Monte San Pietro in Italy has previously won bronze and silver at the adidas SICKLINE World Championship. Last year, he was very unlucky in the qualification, and this year he struggles in the Champion's Killer -1, a challenging hole that has already knocked out many of the favorites. If you make one mistake, the run unravels. It's almost impossible to get back on the fastest line downstream. With a time of 1 minute 9.5 seconds, Michele is out after the quarterfinal. This morning I had severe back pain. Although I was thoroughly warming up, it still hurt and I couldn't find my rhythm. With every stroke I had the stabbing pain in my back. It felt completely locked and so I struggled. The reigning kayak freestyle world champion Dane Jackson has successfully proved his creek racing skills by winning the Whitewater Grand Prix 2011 and 2012. The 20-year-old American has probably put in the most training runs of all competitors. He placed 4th in the quarterfinal, clocking 57.7 seconds, but this run is much slower and only perfect runs make the cut.
And I was hoping to go for a little bit of a perfect run, but unfortunately I had the snowball effect. I messed up just about every drop, but fortunately I didn't make it through, but it was still a good time.
4 of the 7 contenders are still in the race for the belt. AWP World Series champion Eric de Giel from France. Top freestyle and expedition kayaker Gerd Serasolces from Spain. The Triple King of Asia champion Igor Voskoboniko from Russia. And last but not least, Sam's younger brother Jamie, the 2013 New Zealand Extreme Race Series runner-up. The coveted trophy is within reach. Out of 150 kayakers, 15 competitors representing 10 different countries have made it to the final. They are the ones to beat. To ensure that the extreme kayakers can focus entirely on their race, the organizers of the adidas SICKLINE World Championship run an extensive safety operation with water rescue, mountain rescue, the Red Cross, and the event's own swift water rescue crew, pulling out athletes in case something goes wrong. Triple world champion Sam Sutton gives a little insight in the challenges of the race course.
Starting on the start ramp, we lean forward, roll down, hit the kicker. It's very important that you're keeping your nose up the whole way through the course. As we go through the first rapid, keeping the boat nice and dry, applying pressure, and then into the flat pool. Now this is where we really put 100% power on the paddle. As we get to the end of the flat pool, the compulsory left, we really button off, coming around the corner and trying to keep every stroke counting for something. As we enter the TNT rapid, again, keeping the nose up, keeping our power on, and making sure the line is perfect. This really sets you up for the last big hole, which is going to stop you or ruin your race. Through that, we keep our speed, coming up to the Champion's Killer, slowly get our last stroke, boom. Keeping the boat nice and fast the whole way to the finish line, giving 100% power to victory.
In the hot seat, we see the newly crowned adidas SICKLINE queen, Nuria Neumann from France, the fastest woman in this race. And this is her winning run. Nuria competed in heavy rain in the morning and showed incredible skill and speed. She's fresh off a silver medal performance at the World Slalom Championships. You can see her going through Champion's Killer -1. This has tripped up a number of competitors this morning. Not Nuria, though. She had a great fast line through the Champion's Killer, and with a time of 1 minute 3 seconds, she was a clear winner in the women's field. 21-year-old Daniel Klotzner from Italy slipped in the final as lucky loser after being defeated by Jamie Sutton in his semifinal heat. Daniel is looking pretty good. He had a good seal launch, big, strong paddle strokes. He is looking fast, determined, and very, very focused as he enters the compulsory left booth. Keeping his boat nice and high and dry, he's having a great run. Daniel finds a great line on the left side of the Champion's Killer -1. Now he's approaching the Champion's Killer. He got a little subbed out, but he manages to get his boat moving downstream quickly again and finds a great line through the exit slot, powering towards the finish. That is a very fast time. Dark horse Daniel Klotzner takes the lead. My run was really good. I never expected to clock such a good time. I'm perfectly satisfied and very happy. After the semifinal run, I was out, but I was fortunate to advance to the final as lucky loser, and then clocking such a fast time. It's a great day. I never expected that I could nail such a good run. The South Tyrolean takes his spot with Nuria Neumann in the hot tub. With his fast time, he might be sitting there for a while. Now it's Igor Voskobornikov's turn. He's from Moscow, 27 years old. The Russian has been looking fast all week. Igor spends a lot of his time traveling the world doing expedition kayaking in all corners of the globe. He's a big man with high ambition. He knows this is where the race is won. Igor is setting up for the compulsory left line. Good clean booth stroke through there. He kept his boat pretty dry. This is looking like a good run for Igor. The Russian is setting up for the Champion's Killer -1. He takes a little bit of whitewater on his bow, which slows him just a touch. How does he manage a Champion's Killer? Beautiful line through there. Igor kept his boat nice and flat. His time is looking really fast. 57.51 seconds, second place for now. I gave my very best. I think I only made 2 big mistakes. And because of that, I probably won't win. Let's see if the time is good enough to win a medal. The 25-year-old Spaniard Gerd Serasolces is from Catalonia. He recently returned from the Stikine River, where he became only the 2nd man ever to run the infamous sight-said rapid. He got a little bit of a left angle as he slid off the start ramp. The seal launch is a very crucial part of the race, as it sets the tone for the entire run. But Gerd seems to be having a good line. Perfect left entry to Champions Killer -1. Getting a little hung up there, but he manages to get himself out nice and quick. Great line through the Champions Killer. Now he must make up the lost time. But he's not gonna be fast enough. He comes in at almost 1 minute flat, which would normally be a great time. But unfortunately for Gerd, that is 3 seconds too slow, as Daniel has really set the pace with his incredible time of 56 seconds. My final run didn't start well. I went straight into the wall and lost some time. Throughout the run, I never felt super comfortable and smooth, so I was losing seconds here and there. The hole slowed me down a lot. Since my first run in the morning, I kept adding seconds to my runs, and this is what it ended up with. So my final run was a bit disappointing. I have to accept that and work on it for the future. Eric de Giel from France is 32 years old. He always features in the top echelons of competitive race results around the world, and he desperately wants to add that SICKLINE World Championship title to his impressive list of kayaking accomplishments. His meticulous training is internationally renowned. Great line through the compulsory left. Eric has been looking smooth all week. But now he's a bit offline through the TNT cataract, and he's getting a little subbed out as he enters the crux of the rapid. He drops into the middle of Champions Killer -1, almost a little bit to the right there. Oh, and fortunately, Eric makes a critical mistake in the Champions Killer. You can see how that waterfall gets its name. Unfortunately, that's going to cost him valuable seconds. Eric crosses the finish line with a time of 1 minute, 4.55 seconds, which puts him in the 8th spot. I was super stoked about my start. I was totally sure that my fastest time was within reach. I had a good landing off the seal launch, and my first curve was great. The first landing in the biggest pool was also good, and I did well in the flat water. But I missed the fastest line, my line, into the TNT cataract. I emerged deep into the water, and on this course, it's very difficult to get back onto the fastest line once you've missed it. So I have to accept my place for today. The heat is on for Sam's younger brother, Jamie Sutton, who is a bit taller than the triple world champion. In the quarterfinal, he already beat his brother's course record. 55.73 seconds is now the fastest race time ever clocked on the Wellerbrücke Rapids. And Jamie is super fired up to try to knock Sam off his throne. They grew up on the Kaituna River in Okiri Falls, and they've been looking like champions all week. So far, Jamie Sutton is having a great run. He has obviously learned a lot of racing techniques from his older brother. A little bit of a tail stand in the Champions Killer, but the 24-year-old manages to keep his boat speed up and powers towards the finish line. It's not going to be fast enough, though. 57.57 seconds puts Jamie into 3rd position.
skimming off the, there's a double drop in the middle of the TNT. Skimming off that, I went a little bit too far right and was dropped sideways, or I should have been to the left of them. And then the Champions Killer, I think I boofed a little bit too early and bounced straight up and landed stalled out, so I had a bit of a uphill battle after that.
Next up is Joe Morley from Leeds in Great Britain. 24 years old, another competitor with a strong slalom background. He was the under-23 British slalom champion. This is his second time at the Extreme Kayak World Championship. You see big, long, strong, determined paddle strokes. Slalom racers can draw on their incredible cardiovascular ability and their very strong kayaking technique. Joe finds a nice, dry line through the compulsory left, keeping it perfectly on line over the slab booth. Great line through the TNT Cataract and the Champions Killer -1. This is an awesome run from Joe. He navigates to the left side of the Champions Killer, keeping his boat nice on the surface of the water, setting himself up perfectly for the exit slot. And he's powering across the water. This is a fast time, and we have a new leader. Joe Morley, with an incredible time of 56.1 seconds, moves to the #1 position, kicking Daniel Klotzner from Italy out of the hot seat.
I was sat on the start line. I had a good idea of what I was doing. I knew what Daniel had put down a good time in front of me. I had to block that out and just know what to do on my run, and I put it down.
Coming out of 8-degree cold water, Joe Morley enjoys sitting in the hot tub with Nuria Newman. Sam Sutton watched the runs of his competitors. Now the pressure is on his shoulders. With the fastest time in the semifinal, he starts last. Will he be able to defend his world title once again? In previous years, bib #1 proved to be unlucky for the finalists. Sutton's compatriot Mike Dawson could never hold on to his ranking. This morning, Sam set a new course record, which didn't last very long because his brother outperformed him. Sam's friends say he's one of the smoothest and most technically sound whitewater kayakers on the planet. Sam is looking really good so far. Nice clean lines through the first rapid. He avoids a trip up rock, setting himself up for Champions Killer -1. He gets a little subbed out, but he shouldn't have lost too much speed. Sam is now lining himself up for the Champions Killer. And he gets a little subbed out and pushed to the right. He has to correct to make a smooth line through the exit slot, and unfortunately for Sam, that will cost him the race. Joe Morley is the new adidas SICKLINE Extreme Kayak World Champion. And as you can see, he starts celebrating with his friends right away.
No, I kind of was hoping, I knew at the bottom of the Champions Killer I'd kind of screwed it up, but 59 seconds, I was a bit disappointed with that when I saw it, but yeah, I'm coming back with a vengeance next year. They're going to run them all over.
After 3 years, the Wellerbrücke sees a new Extreme Kayak World Champion. 24-year-old Joe Morley from Great Britain claims the coveted champion's belt ahead of Daniel Klotzner from Italy and Igor Voskoboniko from Russia. Together with adidas SICKLINE queen Nuria Newman from France, they receive their hard-earned medals.
This ranks up there, like, this is by far my best achievement, I'd say. I mean, for 3 years, you think 150 guys have gone against Sam and tried to beat him over and over again. And I mean, just to the Wellerbrücke rapid itself is so hard to get down, like just to get down it quicker than everybody else. So it's a good feeling.
150 kayakers from 24 different countries gave everything they've got on an extremely difficult and dangerous piece of whitewater, facing their fears and racing against themselves, their fellow competitors, and the clock down the legendary Wellerbrücke rapids. They will all return next year to challenge Joe Morley.